Today's the 14th of January 2022 and we've come down to Magaluf. We haven't been down for a while, so we thought we'd have a walk around Magaluf just to show you what it's like in January. And I'm pleased to say the sun's shining. It's on our terrace it was about 17 degrees as we left. We're just standing outside the Pirates Adventure, which is all closed up for the winter. That's normal. What hasn't been normal is that they've not really been open at all for the past 2 summers. So hopefully things are going to change for Pirates and things will change for the rest of Magaluf. Well, let's get on with the walk and I'll fill you in with the news as we go on. So it's masks on because that's the rules that we have at the beginning of 2022, and we're just walking past Pirates, and interesting to see we've got some workmen there actually doing some work, hopefully getting it all ready for the season. We've had a pretty cool winter, and cool by Mallorca standards, of course. I was looking at the newspaper today, or looking online at the weather forecast, and I was quite amused when I saw that there was a yellow warning in Mallorca, and the yellow warning was for extreme low temperatures. And when I checked it out to find out what those extreme low temperatures were, extreme low temperatures we're expecting are -1, and I'm sure many of the people who watch our videos are experiencing much lower temperatures than that. So we've got about 16-17 degrees at the moment, and
-3 in Yeovil today.
Our daughter's coming on Sunday, so we're getting excited about that, and she's coming from Somerset, where the temperatures go down to -3 at the moment, so much cooler. But in the daytime here the temperatures soar. We're getting up to 17 degrees, which is probably about normal for this time of the year. It feels much warmer when we're in the sunshine than when we're actually in the shade. The shade temperature does feel quite cool. So I left my jumper in the car, and Anita, as you can see, is all togged up for
put my gloves on, I think,
Arctic weather. I'm sure as we walk we'll both warm up, and then we'll see who's cold at the end of the walk. So we just walked into Magaluf. We parked the car just by the Pirates, and we've got some of the hotels around this area. I'm pretty sure they're all closed up at the moment, and some of them will be doing any work that needs to be done during the winter time, just to get them ready. And they're all hoping, and it's promising in the newspapers, promising to be a good season. Not a great season, but a good season. At least it's got to be better than the last 2 years. At the moment, we, like the rest of Europe and probably much of the world now, are going through our 6th phase of this COVID, and it's really been a steep spike, particularly in the post-Christmas time, with the numbers really becoming astronomical, almost unbelievably astronomical, really. So a few weeks ago, 2 or 3 months ago, our weekly average was around about, well, less than 50, and yesterday it's over 2,000. So that gives you an idea of how serious it is. The numbers of people who have tested positive has gone through the roof, and that's not been totally translated into numbers in the hospital, though the numbers in the hospitals, and particularly in the ICU, very noisy with the traffic, have gone up considerably, and now it's not at danger level, although the newspaper I use, Ultimora, has marked it in red now. They've got a red, amber, green situation, and the ICU stands at over 40% occupancy, and that is with COVID, and that's That's considered to be a bit dangerously high. A consequence of this is that we're hearing now that operations are having to be cancelled for other reasons. Someone's got to go and have an operation, and that is not deemed an urgent operation, not one that's life-threatening. Then they're being told to hang on and wait till the situation's a bit better. And it annoys me, and I'm sure it annoys a lot of other people, that beds are being taken up by people who are refusing to have the vaccine. And those people in ICU, by far the largest percentage of them, are there because they haven't had the vaccine. And most people who contract the COVID over here don't need to go to ICU. So it really is a little bit annoying that they're taking up those spaces. And I've heard today of a friend now who's had his operation postponed. And it's going to be very hard for him. It's very hard for the families who now have to wait and wait and wait, not knowing what's going to happen or how long it's going to take. So I would encourage, and I'm sure most people would encourage, people to have the vaccine. I know there are some anti-vaccine people out there. I'm sorry, I just don't agree with you. So we're coming into Magaluf, the people recognise as Magaluf, and Anita's pointing out the beautiful flowers.
Crocosmia. How lovely they are.
Crocosmia.
Crocosmia, the tie line.
Ah, right. 11 degrees it says on that. Actually, it does feel a little bit cooler here because we're very much in the shade. And you can see here bags and bags of rubble, which is because people are doing the work, getting all the work ready, so the bars are ready for when they can actually open. You can probably hear the noise in the background. It really is noisy. But it's got to be a good thing. It means work's being done, people are getting ready for the season, and it means people are actually working as well. They're not relying on furlough. Look up at the sky, it's largely blue. A few clouds in the distance. We're just getting into the sunshine now. Bars are open. If you go to a bar now, you have to show your COVID passport, and for those people who live here, that's very straightforward. The European Union have a COVID passport, and that has on it one of these QR codes, these black and white dotty things, and the QR code can be read by the owners of the bar. They've got an app, and it comes up with your name. It's as if by magic, and they can, if they need to, check that with your ID card, because again here in Spain we have to carry photo ID. So your driving license is one, but we have ID cards, which is very useful for identification when we need to do anything with banks or anything to do with the government. You can identify yourself with that card. So this is the road that runs parallel to the beach, and we could go down to the beach. We're going to walk through the town, if that's okay. Anita's telling me my lace is undone, so just excuse me a moment while I tie my lace. Well, my lace is tied, but Anita's drawing my attention now to all the berries. They're a bit dried out, but actually masses of berries on that tree. Well, it's actually something growing up around it. So there's the road that runs parallel to the beach, and there are a few bars and shops and restaurants, but we tend to walk down. The next one, we're just going down past the Britannia. You can see there's not many people around, a few cars are going up and down. It's a Friday afternoon, by the way, and my afternoon off school, so I've escaped. So the children are still at school and most of the teachers are still at school, but I managed to escape today. And now we're a little bit more in the sun and the temperature does seem to have risen a little bit. With Christmas over, the Christmas celebrations go on for quite a while here, because obviously they take in the New Year, but then they take in the Three Kings, which is which is January the 6th. So we've got Christmas and then New Year and then January the 6th. And then there's a little bit of a very short lull, because this weekend would be the celebrations of San Antonio, which is one of the biggest fiestas, party times in Mallorca, and it's one of the really big traditions with lots of events usually organised throughout the island. But sadly, again, all the events for 2022 which were organised are gradually being cancelled, and I think there's very, very little left that people can actually go and attend. So the local television channel, which is IB3, has decided it's going to put on lots of TV programs on, because they're worried that people will begin to forget, young people in particular, begin to forget the traditions like the San Antonio fiestas, and so they're going to be broadcasting San Antonio fiesta material over the next day or two, and that's one of the reasons as well that the Three Kings parade, if you've not seen that, we did a video of the Three Kings parade. It lasted about 30 minutes of parade after parade of different floats, and of course the Three Kings arrived ready to give the presents to the children of Palma. So we went along and videoed that, and that went ahead, even though we were having high numbers of COVID, but the government were particularly keen not to allow the culture that goes with the Three Kings fiestas to disappear. So that went ahead. But San Antonio, the one that is this weekend, or would have been this weekend, is more or less cancelled everywhere, I think. Some of the bigger events which would take place in Palma, in Arta in particularly, in the north of the island, they are all going to be curtailed or cancelled altogether. It's an interesting, this is McDonald's here, the McDonald's in Magaluf, and it says this restaurant is closed for the season until April 22nd. April 2022. It's the last line that
No, we waited for you as well. We are waiting.
We hoped to see you. Well, they're hoping that, I think, that we're going to see them. They're going to be able to see us in the summer, that we're actually going to get a season. I think that's probably what they're hinting at there. And all the business holders here in Magaluf are hoping the same, that there's going to be some sort of a season this year. Government and politicians and even the people who are taking the bookings for the holidays are saying that it's going to be sort of 85%. Well, I think that would be quite good if they managed to get 85%. A little bit more in the sun now, and I'm beginning to get quite warm. I don't know about Anita. Still want your gloves on, dear? She can't, because she left the gloves in the car. I'm just going past some of the bars on the opposite side. One of our Favourites over there is Sinky's Bar, and not open at the moment, but they might be opening later on. They'll be particularly open if there's a football match on, especially if Rangers are playing. Big Glasgow Rangers supporting club from the Sinky's Bar there. It's been nice to read all your comments. Thank you. That's a little bit of encouragement. I just like to read what people think of the videos and suggestions that people have, and comments about various things. Several people have been saying to me that they're booking up their holidays, which is great news, and they'll be coming out at different times. So I think the earliest, well actually there's some people who've been out this month in January. I know of people who are coming out in February, and possibly some more of our family might be coming out towards Easter time. And then the season will start hopefully around April. We might get some places opening a little bit earlier, and this is one of them that does open. It's not open at the moment. This is the Hotel Samos, and I have seen people saying that they're already booked in to come to the Samos. Well, it's all quite washed up at the moment. Anita's just noticed that we've got a whole load of Fiat 500s, probably rent-a-cars. They've got to be parked somewhere when they're not being hired out. So here they are at the Hotel Samos. A few weeks ago I got excited, well I don't know about me, but a lot of people got excited by the fact that BCM was opening up, and they had a gala evening to show off their Tito's, and then they were opening, and they were going to have a big grand opening and parties for over the Christmas period and New Year's Eve. And then some photos. It's a bit like photographs in your back garden when you're having a party and you're not obeying all the rules. Well, BCM and photos leaked of people on the dance floor without masks on and obviously not following the COVID rules. And BCM decided that it was not worth the €600,000 fine that potentially they could have for not obeying the rules, and so they closed and they didn't have a New Year's Eve party. Someone else who had a party in their back garden still has to wait and see what the judgment is there, whether they will be fined. As many students were at the time, I seem to remember students were being fined up to £10,000 in the UK for organising parties. Well, the next few weeks we might find out, but I'm sure there's lots of annoyed people out there just like me. Across the road, just beyond the bank, we can see there's at least 2 bars open down there, and these bars will be used by the locals, people who live in the area. So most bars are closed, but 1 or 2 manage to stay open, just to cater for people who live in the apartments, just like the apartments behind the Paradise Lost across the road there. I'm glad we managed to come out for a walk. It certainly warmed me up, and I hope Anita's a little bit warmer now. I've just come round the corner here to the Kathmandu Complex, where they've got the all the mini golf. The house, it's upside down, and there's a bit of a water park as well there now. And as we get near to the top, you keep thinking, we keep thinking, it's nearly coffee time. Is that what you were thinking, dear?
I think so. See if Leo's open.
Yeah, the last time we came down here, we went for a walk a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago maybe, and we had a walk around Palmanova, but we did come as far as Leo's pub, and unfortunately on that particular occasion they were closed, so we missed out. So just coming to the corner where we're going to turn right. This is a parking meter. I don't know how many of you might be interested in parking meters, but this one's all sealed up. Right, there's a big lock on here. No, actually it's a very little lock. It's all sealed up because during the winter months we don't have to pay to park. But if you're here not in the winter months, so check the dates, make sure you park, otherwise there's quite hefty fines. And note I saw about driving licenses. One of the consequences of Brexit is that people who live here or have a home here and a resident here have to have a Spanish driving license. Before, if you've got a home in the UK and a home here, you've got two addresses, then you could use your UK license. Now you have to change, and it was actually from Brexit, so over a year ago you should have changed, but they've managed to keep postponing things. But it looks like the end of February, if you've still got a British license, it will no longer be valid to drive here if you're a resident. If you're a holiday maker, they will still accept that, but if you are coming here to live, you're going to have to do a driving test, a Spanish driving test. I wouldn't like to do that. So we have Spanish driving licenses, and all our friends have Spanish driving licenses, but anyone now who comes can't exchange their UK license for a Spanish one, which was automatic before. Under Brexit, under European rules, we could just exchange them. So we gave in our UK license and they gave us a Spanish license. Not quite as simple as that, but basically that's what happens. Now, if you want to change your license, you have to do a driving test. So you'll do a driving test, and that will all obviously be in Spanish. You can do the theory part in English, I believe. So you do a theory and a practical. But my guess is the person who's going to conduct you around the practical part is going to be telling you where to go and what to do in Spanish. He's going to be telling you in English. So this is Teddy, and one of the shops Anita likes to go to because they sell wool, and she does a lot of knitting, so she's just having a look at that. So I was mentioning driving licenses. So when we have to change our driving license, it involves a medical. So you have to have a medical, and in the medical they test your eyes, they test your ears, they test your reflexes, and they put you on a computer and you have to play a little bit of a computer game and show that you've got the coordination and reflexes that are required to drive. And it costs about €50 or so, and then you get your driving license. They just send it to you through the post, and that has your photograph on it and tells you what you can drive. And it should last for 10 years, depending on your age, but it should last for 10 years. Once you get to our sort of age, then they perhaps don't last as long. So that's what awaits some people who are coming to live here. To start with, you might be able to survive on your British license, but you're going to have to change it. And that actually, people might say, oh, that's damn Brexit and all that, but that's what the rule was when we first came here, because Spain was not part of the European Union and you had to have a Spanish driving license. I sort of didn't do that, not straight away anyway, and when I was in the UK I got an international driving license. Probably not strictly correct, but it kept us going until Spain actually joined the European Union. And we're just noticing that Leo's is open, so coffee time, dear?
I think so.
She thinks so. And we're just going to cross over and have a little coffee in Leo's. It's getting very Leo's and iciconned, I'm afraid. So cheers.
Cheers.
This is on the coffee though. Oh, that's nice. Well, as always, we just had a nice drink, nice relax at Leo's pub, and we're just going to make our way back, and we're just going to take a quick look at the beach and see what's going on there. Can't imagine very much. We're just walking past the Kathmandu upside down house, and then the bars on this side, which are getting largely closed. So this is Finnegan's. Lovely blue skies. Some places open. This is Bet Point. Music. So I don't know if you noticed how clean everywhere is. It's even in the winter time, you seem to do a very good job of keeping the place clean. Still some work that needs to be done, but quite well kept. And the white horse is still for sale. Someone was asking about that last year. Maybe even the year before. I'm just coming to the Magaluf strip, which takes on a completely different appearance during the holiday season, especially at night. Going past the plaza, which always reminds me of Kenny Campbell. Used to come and listen to him sing there many years ago, and he still does keep in touch. Good to hear from him now and again. Here's the Magaluf strip. And, nothing much going on there, and that's probably exactly how you would expect it. Looks as though it's time for the trees to get a little bit of a trim. They're usually very well kept. And here's the stereo bar. I had to give a shout out last time I was walking past the stereo bar. Well, here I am again. And it's still closed, but still waiting for you, and it will be open, I'm sure, when the season starts later on in 2022. The sun's shining and there's not a lot of breeze, so the sea's quite calm. The place is all closed up and wrapped up so that things don't get damaged by the salt, by the wind, by the sand, anything else the weather can offer. And here we are at Magaluf Beach, and as you can see, it's virtually empty and very quiet. The bar behind us, which is the Bondi Beach Bar, is all boarded up. Best way to protect it. The beach is empty. Well, I think we've covered Magaluf now, so just leaves us to say thank you very much for watching our video. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. We look forward to seeing you in the next video. Don't know where or when that's going to be, but thanks for watching, and bye for now.
Bye.